Yeah, welcome to another episode of Dark Skies Podcast, coming to you live from Los Angeles, California, from the Bay to LA, on the way to San Jose. And today we're talking about the Mandela effect. Have you seen the new previews for Detective Pikachu? Oh, man. Well, we're talking about the Mandela effect and your memories and what do you remember. So make yourselves comfortable. You're found. Dark Skies, news and information. Podcasts worldwide. Make yourselves comfortable. We'll be back in a few seconds. Oh, man. How y'all doing today? Brand new week. Lovely day. Here on the West Coast, Los Angeles, California, everybody relaxing. We're going into the night. Dark Skies, news and information podcast. I'm telling y'all, man, it's been crazy. This world we live in, this thing we call reality, life. It's amazing on so many different levels. Well, today we're talking about the Mandela effect. We're talking about, the strangeness in our reality. So, we try to, reach out. We try to tell people, what's going on to the best of our ability. And we get great feedback, and it's amazing, to be honest with you. Now, a lot of times I tackle this Mandela effect in hopes to try to, answer some of the world's toughest questions. And, it seems like we've gotten no closer, but we still strive. And, like I said, in the hopes to getting closer to some of these tough questions, answering them. So I'm your host, Elsie Grays. We got Mikey Nikes in the building. We got Jill and Jennifer, Charles. It's crazy because we took a little bit of time off, I needed some time to relax and gather my thoughts and get my mind together, because we only have one host on the show. So we do our best to try to, bring you as much content as possible. And it's incredible because, we cover the Mandela effect a lot and there's no shortage of effects. Now, I tell people that the Mandela effect is incredible because it affects all parts of what we call reality, the human life. Our memories, it affects, our reality, right? As we see it, as we experience it, it affects the past. It's incredible. So we ask ourselves, what is it that we're experiencing? What is this that we're seeing? And like I said, coming up with answers is not easy. The Mandela effect is something that doesn't go away. And, it grows because you find more and more effects. And we try to bring them all to you. But we're talking about the effects of reality, right? Effects on reality. So you could talk about weather. We could talk about the world map. We can talk about, logos of businesses. We could talk about things that were said in movies, words that was written in books. So these are all switches in reality, right? And we're covering them and we're talking to people about it. But still no headway. Because this is the type of subject that if you're not personally affected, then you're probably not going to be able to gravitate towards this. You're not going to be able to, comprehend, the scope and the magnitude of such an event. Now, we try to, help people understand that, this could be, the most important event in human history. Definitely the most fascinating. I mean, because I'm telling you that there's a group of humans on this planet that has memories of living on another planet. Quite like this one, but not exactly. So the differences are the changes that we are describing when we talk about this Mandela effect. So we hope to understand it better, right? So Detective Pikachu is a movie that's coming out. And it's pretty popular and everybody's excited about it, It's Pokemon, right? Always been popular ever since they came out. Now, I wasn't a Pokemon watcher. I've seen it, It's been on TV, we have kids. So, Pokemon, I'm a little familiar with it. And the characters, as in the lead character, Pikachu. Now, Pikachu is basically one of the Pokemon, or the first Pokemon that, the kid Ash caught or whatever. And, well, not even caught, was given. And if I'm not mistaken, when the show first started, a long time ago, catch them all. Anyway, Pikachu was the first Pokemon that was, given to Ash. Well, anyway, Pikachu, obviously the most famous of all the Pokemon. Most popular, the yellow, whatever he is, weird looking creature. But anyway, it's funny because I remember back in the day watching, well, not watching it, but it's being on TV, and, I see it as the kids are watching it. But anyway, the Pokemon series and the character Pikachu, I remember he had a black tip on his tail. Now, I remember this because, some of the episodes, he would, just summon the lightning and all of that stuff. And it's crazy because, his tail, was something that, he used and it was prominent. And, in some of the episodes that he used, that they showed. So it's incredible to see it now. And now he doesn't have the little black tip on his tail. Now, I know it's subtle and it's something that you can't really, pick up on, especially if you're not like an avid watcher. But even with me not being an avid watcher, I kind of noticed the change. Yeah, his tail is all yellow. Now, I was talking to people, trying to get people to understand that, this is, probably small, not like some of the bigger Mandela effects I cover, but, still a Mandela effect. I mean, because his tail is yellow and his tail has always been yellow. Now, that just, creates, yet another conundrum. Trying to figure out, exactly how this happened. Well, first of all, you have to understand that it did happen, right? That he did used to have a black tip on his tail, and now his tail is all yellow. Like so many Mandela effects, this one, leaves no clues. Don't know when it happened. Hard to get a person to, to stop and look and say, you know what, dang, I do remember him having that little black tip on his tail. Most people just look and say, oh, well, they're making a movie now, and maybe they redrew him, recreated the character. Marvel do it all the time. They'll change the uniforms of, their characters. But Pikachu is not wearing a uniform. Pikachu is an animal. So he's basically, furred. I guess it's furred. But anyway, the change in the color doesn't seem to be a change in color scheme, for the character. It just seems to be the way the character was invented and the way that the artists are drawing the character, here in this reality. Slightly different than, what, I remember when I first saw, Pikachu. So we try to remember, searching our memories. Like, does this make sense? Well, of course it doesn't make sense. And nobody's going to be able to make it make sense. I'm one of the few people that's out here just trying to make it make sense. But it sounds forced, right? Go make it make sense. We want answers. We want a better understanding. Not easy, though. Not easy to pull in when there's so much to gather. Spread it in so many different areas. Pikachu is just one of a long line of many Mandela effects that continuously, haunt us as time go by, right? So the Mandela effect, even if you don't believe it exists, even if it does sound like, a bunch of crazy people that don't really understand reality, or people that don't remember things correctly, like your memory's all messed up, you might have Alzheimer's or something. Or maybe there is something there. Maybe, reality has been changing right up under our nose, and, we're just pointing out these changes. More and more people activated by their own personal memories. Or maybe some people are saying that, something just don't make sense, but I just can't put my finger on it. I don't really know what's going on, but it's something. So we are forced to, come up with our own answers, our own theories. Because there's not enough people, right? It's not enough people that are willing to stop, listen, figure it out together. Well, we doing our part. But the memory part is the strange part because, I always ask people, what do you remember? Do you remember things like this? Or am I right? Maybe there's a slight change, a subtle difference. Like, not all of Pikachu is changed. He's not a different color. He's still yellow. And what if he's pink or red, blue? Would that stand out more? Because the change is subtle. It's on the tail. It might slip past you. Might think that, the artist is drawing them different. The character has evolved over the years. I don't know, man. I do know one thing, man. The Mandela effect is not changing. It's not ending. It's continuing, and we're going to continue to follow it. But I do know that I want you to leave a comment in the comment box. Tell me, what do you remember when it comes to Pikachu? You remember him having a black tip on his tail? Or his tail being all yellow? Man. Mandela effect. Never ends. All right, y'all. Feel free to leave a comment. Thanks for listening. And be back soon.